So this is not the first time that Pat Riley has spoke out against one of his players or his whatever in what capacity he was with any organization.
Yeah.
And he did that with Shaquille O'Neal, did that with Dwayne Wade, did that with LeBron James, he did with his head coach. So this is nothing new. We know that Jimmy Butler is at the end of his career in Miami Heat uniform. I think he's going to move on and go to another situation where it's going to be best for him. And you could tell that the friction is not only with the top of the head of the organization, is with the players. You know, they had that spat in the play-in tournament when he, you know, Tyler Hero swung at him. He was like, I forgot what it was. Like, now you're something for 26 now.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that was cold. That was cold.
Yeah, that was cold-blooded. It was cold-blooded, man. It's Jimmy Butler's just esque. Yes. Like, it's just Jimmy Butler-esque. Yep. Like, that's just, you know, prototypical Jimmy. He's going to be outspoken even in the heat of fire. But I like what Jimmy said. I think if I'm Jimmy, I'm still going to talk my issue because I've proven time and time again that these two organizations, these two teams can't really beat me. They can't handle me. They can't handle me when I'm on the court. And I do understand on the side of Pat Riley, like, you're not on the court.
Yeah,
you can't help us really. Why are you talking?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Jimmy's going to be outspoken. I think he's warranted to do so because he's proven that time and time again. It is not his fault. It was an injury that he could not be there because he always give his blood, sweat, and tears for any team he's with. Yes. So Pat Riley, sit down, man. Sometimes you just got to just not comment and just whatever. You didn't have to say that. He didn't have to say the comment. Jimmy didn't have to say it either. So I'm trying to play both sides, but I'm more geared to Jimmy being, yeah.
For sure. And this was news earlier today that the Suns, that they let go of Frank Vogel, another coach, let go at the Lakers, let go of their whole coaching staff, Darvin Ham. The Suns, man, we've talked about this so many times. It's going to sound like a broken record about just how this was just not a smartly constructed team. It just was kind of like, it would have been great in 2012 or 2013 when the Big Three era was at its peak. But I mean, 10, 11 years later, it just does not work the same. To you, what were your thoughts on the Suns letting go of Frank Vogel, and you know, what's their next move for next season?
Don't get it twisted, fans. Whatever, like Frank Vogel is a great head coach, and I think when it comes to having the scapegoat, when it comes to basketball, just typically basketball, it's always the head coach, and it's never the organization, never the general manager, never the owner who is a scapegoat. Yeah. And I just think of the Philadelphia 76ers and the truster process and their GM going,
Brett Brown,
with Twitter and all this stuff. Yeah, Brett Brown, all that stuff. Like, it's never the scapegoat for anybody who's putting the team together. The head coach only has a minimal say in who he can get or whatever. They have meetings. Oh, I think we should do this, blah, blah, blah. But it's typically up to the general manager and the owner or whoever, how they're setting it up, to draft or to trade or to sign players. So the head coach doesn't have that control. The head coach is, it's just a willing vessel.
So misconstrued. The coach, they can't be the head of that.
Absolutely. Unless, he was the general manager and the head coach. Was it Tom Thibodeau?
It might have been Thibodeau. I think it might have been Thibodeau.
I think it was
with the Bulls.
Yeah, he was the head coach and a general manager at one point. I think it's Tom Thibodeau. We gotta research that. But I know it was a head coach who was both. That's rare. Yeah. Really, really rare when it comes to basketball in this day and age. But Vogel is a great head coach. It has to go to the front office. You guys put this team together thinking this willing vessel in Frank is going to be the savior to bring all this together. And it has to be, the scapegoat has to be the players. At the end of the day, it's up to the players.
Minnesota.
They can speak up to.
At one point, Thibodeau.
Yeah, absolutely.
At one point, Thibodeau was the head coach and GM for Minnesota. Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay. See, live research. Eventually we're going to be together, guys. We're going to blow your mind.
It's gonna be
we're going to record together. It's coming. I feel like it's coming.
I feel like that.
But it's coming. But yeah, he was a scapegoat. It's a sad scene. Coaches have been a scapegoat for the past 7 years. Yeah. And even after they won a championship 2 years ago, or they just went like down to the wire. I think, what was the black head coach for Toronto? Had a phenomenal season and then got fired the next year.
Wayne Casey. Man.
Yes. And I'm like, bro.
I mean,
how is he the
He
scapegoat?
can't affect that. He has to play LeBron in the Cavs every year. Like it's like this guy
What
won't leave my conference.
What do you want? Give me players.
Yeah,
Give me players. And then give me players that have the attitude to be humble and know their
right.
roles. And I think that's what it comes down to with the Suns. And you bringing these guys together thinking, oh, it's going to be like a Celtics. This era of basketball, like you said, like Wellington and Savon keep saying, the Big Three era is over. The game of basketball is changing and shifting. It continues to change and shift every single year.
Yes.
And where it's going, the Big Three is not a prominent thing. And you brung these guys together thinking you're going to, Frank Vogel, which is a great head coach, is going to mesh all these players together when it's the players' responsibility to do so. And he become the scapegoat. Man, I'm sorry, Frank Vogel, if you're listening. I don't know if you're listening or not, but speak things in existence. But man, you were the scapegoat. Darvin Ham, 2 years, scapegoat. And it's just tiring at some point. When are the players going to be held responsible and the front office going to be held responsible?
This is an open invitation for Darvin Ham and Frank Vogel to come on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I mean, hey,
God, if you're listening,
we're a great place to just talk about what's going on. No judgment.
Right. No judgment at all. This is a safe space. Come talk to us. We love talking about sports, so that's what Full Scope is all about. Like, come talk to us. We're willing and ready to be the vessel you guys use to get your point across.
We want to be the number one media space for coaching. Just imagine all the coaches say, "Hey, can I come to Full Scope?" Yeah,
bro, that would be crazy. That'll be a blessing, man. That'll be a huge blessing.
And now getting into our next topic with Canelo Alvarez's a Saturday night win. He becomes the undisputed super middleweight champion. The unanimous decision win against Jamie Munguia. And this was another clinical performance for Canelo. And at this point with his career, what he's been able to do win after win. Obviously, the Bivol loss, that's one that he kind of wants to right that wrong, but it's still going to be tough to step into that weight class again because Bivol really figured him out that first fight that they had. So what do you think? What did you think about this win for him? Another win for him again, Cinco de Mayo weekend, and what's next for Canelo?
Extra special on Cinco de Mayo weekend. What's next for Canelo? I think the Crawford fight is set in stone. Like they're going to fight, and I think that's going to be again one of the biggest fights in this past decade. But with Canelo, he still has some stuff to clean up. He wasn't as clean. He was just outskilled the guy. Knocked the guy down round four? Round four. First time him being knocked down. But the guy was giving Canelo some problems. He was still getting hits off. Canelo gets hit way too much. And we know Crawford is a counterpuncher. He's a guy who can adapt really quickly, and he can adapt to your fighting style within the rounds, and he can make it count. And he's precise in his shot and that jab and that counters. It's crazy. So Canelo is going to have to clean. Yeah, insane. And he's going to have to clean up so much. It was still some points where he was getting hit. He didn't look clean. Right. Even though he outskilled and had more power,
you can tell when a fighter. You can tell when a fighter is coasting off of their talent and their skill compared to actually being their usual output, showing their usual output. It didn't seem that way for Canelo.
No, and if he fights Crawford, he's gonna have to be clean. He's gonna have to be near perfect because Crawford, Gervonta Davis, those two guys are willing to get in the fire to figure out the other boxer, and they can adapt so well. And what I love about Crawford is his counters. He's so precise. His shots are pinpoint. And if Canelo gets hit like that all the time with fighters that's not even remotely close to Crawford, what do you think Crawford's going to do? We see him break down and dissect boxers fight after fight. Crawford is only getting better.
Yes.
And he's getting more confidence. At one point, Crawford didn't want Canelo. Now, he tweeted this out. Yeah, he tweeted this out like, bro, good fight. You got a lot of stuff I can maneuver on. Let's get to it. Like the confidence. Once Crawford gets this crazy confidence, like Money Mayweather's confidence, it is over.
That's a
and
different
he
level of
has that
confidence to have.
already.
That's a different level of confidence to
Oh
have.
my
To get
goodness.
to that point. So.
Oh my goodness. That means I know everything about boxing. My IQ, I know how to like. He checks the boxes of that, and then confidence is because Mayweather was always already a good fighter.
Oh
He
yeah,
was Pretty Boy Floyd. Then he became Money Mayweather, and that confidence that you could say ego that's mixed into that too. But when you have a boxing IQ as high as Floyd Mayweather, and Crawford's IQ is high up there too, it's going to be that. Like I know how to score the points. I know how to adjust. I know what I need to do to beat you.
Yes.
And I think Crawford knows how to beat Canelo.
Man, that would definitely be fight of the decade if that happened. I mean, because like you said, it's just so insane that how the tables have turned in the fact that Crawford really wasn't all in on that. He kind of was just like, he heard about it and he was like, all right, I mean, we'll see what happens. The answer fighters usually say when they're talking about a fight they really don't want to be a part of. But now he's like, I'm collecting the Infinity Stones. Like Crawford is like, I'm collecting the Infinity Stones at this point, and I'm ready to rumble. So that would be scintillating, very scintillating matchup.
I heard it's completed. I heard it's already sealed deal. They're looking at a late December, early January.
Hold up, did they give Savon's corner the inside scoop? Did they give Savon's corner the inside scoop? Did they give it to you first?
Oh, some things I do.
All right.
Things I really do. Some things I really do. But that's been circulating the past couple of weeks. And then he's been low key confirming things on Twitter. Bud Crawford. So I think it's gonna be a good fight.
For sure.
I think it's gonna be on that Triple G level, maybe even bigger. Because Triple G is really the only one besides that really gave him fits. I think the fight that he lost, he was not mentally there. He was just trying to bake off his skills and his IQ, and he got beat. And I think Triple G is the only real one who gave him a run for his. He had to be, oh my God, I got to be near perfect.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be the same.
I need to rewatch those fights
with Crawford.
Those were some really good fights.
Good fights.
Those were some really good fights.
Good series.
Good series. Man, you ready to talk about this? The Tom Brady roast.
Wait. Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, Ryan Garcia
was telling the truth. We're sorry, Ryan.
Shout out Ryan Garcia. We were wrong about that one. That one, we dropped the ball. He was,
yeah.
He was right.
So he took 2 L's. Devin Haney took 2 L's.
Man.
Trying to make it seem like he was on, that's crazy.
Devin Haney has had a rough last couple of weeks, to say the least, man.
Yeah. Man. He needs to go in hiding for a little bit. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about this roast, man, because it was out of pocket. It was out of pocket.
Drew Bledsoe was there. Julian Edelman was there. Peyton was there. You got Kevin Hart.
Kraft was there.
Yeah, Kraft was there. Man, what were some of your initial thoughts? Because I mean,
Will Ferrell
was there. Kim Kardashian was there. Tom Brady took the shot at Kanye, and she looked like shut up. She looked so.
Yeah,
it got cringy. He got super cringy at certain parts.
He got super cringy too. I forgot the lady's name. She was talking about Giselle. Now, talking about the ring, by his marriage over, and you could tell he sat back and he's like. I didn't like that one, but I gotta. It's a roast. I gotta everything. Obviously, they're gonna talk about. Kevin Hart talked about it too. Like it was just out of pocket, especially her. I can't remember her name, but she said everybody thinks I'm homosexual, but I have a boyfriend. But if I was like, whoa.
Kevin Hart said, when you got a chance to go 8-9 and all, it will cost you, your wife, and your kids. You got to do what you got to do.
Yes. I was like, bro, they
are going at it.
Why did he want a roast?
That makes, honestly, the decision making from Tom, it really doesn't make sense to me, because he should have known that was going to go left, especially with separating from your wife. That part of it, that was coming right off it. If you're still with your family and you rode into the sunset for your retirement, I'm like, okay. But with what happened, man, that last season, and you want to open the doors to that, where you got some comedians there, you got Will Ferrell there, you got Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is not going to hold back. I was like,
man. Kevin Hart gave him the business. what he said, your wife cheated on you with a something instructor. It was so funny. It wasn't like what he really was, but it was just, I forgot what he said, but it's so funny. Kevin Hart gave him the business. And then when Will Ferrell came out, I already knew every time they bring him out, I already knew he's going to say something. And then he did it twice because obviously Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. Only quarterback to do that.
He said Peyton said my handicap is a 6.4, while Tom's handicap is blowing lead the Super Bowl to my brother. I was like, yeah, Peyton was on one too.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Peyton is funny.
Peyton is funny.
I see why Peyton is always there. He's super funny. Like him in the SNL skit he did years ago. Still one of the best skits that SNL ever had. When he was throwing footballs in the back of the head with the kids. Yes. Beautiful. So funny.
He's naturally funny, and like on Monday nights, yeah. I'll watch Peyton and Eli compared to like the other crew, because it's like,
oh my goodness,
it's just like you're really just watching it with like two brothers that know the game so well, and they can be natural with their guests as well. It's just such a smart move to have.
It's good. Them two together are just comical.
Yes.
Just when they were playing, I don't know if you saw this clip. It's like when they was behind the scenes and Eli was eating chips. And Peyton got so mad. He was like, bro, like, why are you smacking? Like, bro, he was like, you could tell Peyton was like, bro, oh, they sound like he said something sound like a goat or something. Like, man, he was like, man, I'm hungry. Eli was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm hungry. And he was just like smacking heavy hard.
Yo.
So I just know, yeah.
That's how they are.
And then Eli came out, I think the next day and said something on Twitter, which was, I forgot what he said, but it was really funny. But yeah, that roast was out of pocket.
I'm just still stunned. I'm still stunned. He signed off on it. Like, that doesn't seem like a Tom move, man. That does not seem like a Tom move.
That seemed like I'm retired. Yeah. I just want something to do.
It seemed like a bored move, honestly. It seemed like I'm just
they
really
talked
bored.
me into it. Yeah, they talked me into it. It got a lot of views though. I mean, it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I mean, he probably made money off of it anyway. So I don't know if you make money, but it's on Netflix. If it's on MTV or something, I don't think they really make money off of it. But I'm pretty sure in there he got something out of it.
Yeah, but it seemed super odd. It seemed super odd in terms of just it seemed like a circus, honestly, like a whole mess of just bringing all these people together just to, and not one of those roasts where it's just like everybody can laugh at it. It was ones where it's like somebody's going to be offended. A few people are going to be offended by that. Like,
absolutely. And he was one of them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was definitely one of them. He was a good sport though. He was a good sport.
Next year is his year, man. He's going to be commentating finally, taking over Greg. I hope he's a natural, because Greg Olsen, I really was starting to get used to Greg Olsen.
Was really good, yeah. I hope he's good. I don't think he's going to be. Sometimes Tony Romo is annoying, but I think Tony Romo is a good analyst.
I've gotten used to Tony. Tony and Jim Nantz.
Sometimes Tony just Jim Nantz, man.
Jim
Nantz is a legend.
This is the one.
And Jim is so straightforward. There's no excitement. He's been doing it for years. Yeah. And this is a good 1-2 punch, a good like contrast with those two guys. But I'm hoping Tom Brady, because Tom Brady has the voice, obviously has the look, and he has the IQ for the game. So hopefully he can, bring something to the table that's worth all the money that he's getting from CBS. Yeah. So we're gonna see. I'm not excited about it. It's whatever. They get all the jobs anyways, and people who went to college for this get the scraps. But it's okay. It's whatever.
Come on, y'all.
It's whatever.
We're not salty.
We get the scraps. Yeah, we're not salty at all.
Not like us. Not like us. Nah.
We enjoy this.
We got to close it out with what we've honestly the whole world's been talking about. Drake and Kendrick. It escalated after what was it? Meet the Grams Saturday afternoon. I texted you and said, "Hey man, I was literally watching DJ Academic stream live, and he said, wait, Kendrick just dropped?" And I was like, "Nah, please, I can't take it. No, I'm still processing Meet the Grams." And then I see the cover art, Drake's mansion, and 12. The 12 dots for the sex offenders. And I was like, oh, man, Kendrick, what is Kendrick about to do this? And then he starts with I see dead bodies. I was like, oh, gosh. Is this going to be a riveting track? And he's like, nah, I'm dropping a club banger. I'm dropping a hit. And that is one of the most West Coast tracks I've heard Kendrick do in a long time, because he really was just saying like,
Absolutely.
yo, this is for LA,
But
and
that's how you get it. That's
that's
how
how
you
you
do
do
it.
it. This is
Yeah.
where
You get the
this is where Kendrick wanted, is that he made that regional move, and he was like, I'm going to unite all of LA, and then everybody else is going to jump on that bandwagon too, because the track is just super catchy and it's a bop.
yes.
You know what I mean? So
It's nice.
it's
And he goes
really
crazy.
nice. The mustard beat had the DJ
But
mustard beat. So I want to start. I want to start with Not Like Us first, just to see what did you think about it when you first heard it, and obviously it's catching a lot of wind.
so I want to be careful of what I say about this. So initially, the song is crazy. What he's saying is crazy. The flow is crazy. Pop, 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 pop. It is just like it's everything. I'm thinking like we were saying that he needs to make a song with a hook. Boom, 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 boom. He did that. It was so West Coast. He's gonna get everybody behind him. And then I'm thinking, why did he really drop that one? And then Drake really explained why he dropped that one. And it makes sense. In hindsight, he dropped
Get the
that
attention off
because he needed
to
to.
get the attention off of his
Yeah,
skeletons.
because the only reason why that was dope is because he revealed some more stuff to the sex offenders, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh man, that's dope. But then you realize, like, I don't think that's true. The kid is not true. So now I gotta do something else real quick. So it kind of, because Not Like Us really, sir, we don't really talk about Meet the Grams anymore.
We don't.
Not Like Us is getting played
Yes.
worldwide. It's crazy. That song is really good, bro. And that beat is just dangerous. And then the OVO, the yeah, bro, that ending, I'm like, bro.
He said, sometimes you gotta
stop
and show them. Sometimes you gotta. I was like, Kendrick was talking his talk. I was like, that's confident, Kendrick.
Right, but in hindsight, if he would have never dropped Meet the Grams, I think I would be more geared to lean that way.
Yeah, he had to drop all of these tracks. He had to drop all of these tracks for us to look at it the way we're looking at it. If there was one that wasn't dropped, it would have gotten shaky. I really think it would have gotten shaky, because like, just imagine, like, if Family Matters just lived for a day without any other song stopping it, we would be talking about that. Like, because that song is still crazy to me. And so, I mean, it's just like that part of it, how quick he had to drop. That's another thing.
Yes.
How quick he had to drop. Because he knew what Family Matters was about to do.
Thank you. That was an extra realization, because I can't let that song do numbers. I got to drop something that's going to surpass that, and everybody's going to get behind me. Not Like Us. So we're like, if you're really thinking about it in a battle, beef, whatever, and if you're tuned into it, that was a chess move he had to do. Smart now is really smart, but he had to do it because Family Matters was really, really good. And then Not Like Us really had us not thinking about Meet the Grams and not really thinking about Family Matters, because Not Like Us is more catchy. So Drake dropped his catchy stuff in the beginning, went crazy. And then Kendrick, mono, I'm going to rap a little bit. Okay, I'm going to drop my catchy at the end.
Yeah.
Smart chess move.
That was a very smart chess move.
Smart chess move. Yeah, smart chess move. But yeah, Not Like Us is, that's a banger.
It is, man.
You could play that in the club, which you're doing.
And that's, he kind of out Drake in a sense, because usually
Drake
drops the hit. Like, I was telling somebody, like, 9 years ago, everybody was singing back to back over the summer. Like, everybody was. And so that's almost, I don't think Drake thought that Kendrick had a hit in this battle. I don't think he was thinking that, like, oh, Kendrick's about to drop a hit. Like, I think he was like, all right, I know he's going to have a couple vicious tracks, but he's not going to be able to do a hit that's going to outdo what I do. Like, he's like, I think that's the part where he kind of underestimated him a little.
I agree. I definitely agree on that part. But I do think again, if they would have dropped both of their, because Washcom was a banger. He dropped that early though.
Yeah.
Drop it, give me
Yeah,
50.
Push-ups
Drop it, give me 50. He dropped that early. If he would have dropped that at the same time and not like us, we would have been torn.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like we'd have been torn.
50-50.
Because that's a chess move though. But push-ups was more than about Kendrick, obviously. It was about multiple artists, multiple people. So I think when he dropped that, it got not stale, but it got to where they were just rapping and it wasn't about the catchiness of it. But then Kendrick dropped his catchiness, which I do agree that Drake didn't realize that Kendrick could really do that type of stuff, and he showed that.
Yeah.
Especially in a rap battle. But nah, it was a great chess move by Kendrick, and he dropped one of the most catchiest songs of the year. I do think Push-Ups is still, but Westcom is just, yeah. And he's saying some like outlandish stuff in it too. So
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But I do want to say this with Meet the Grams, because I said this on social media. Not a lot of people responded to it, but I knew I'm not crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy. When that beat, when it starts, to me, it sounded like a sample of or similar to Benny and the Jets by Elton John. It sounded similar to that. And someone confirmed you on a podcast, that it was a tribute to that start off to Benny and the Jets by Elton John. I was like, I know I'm not crazy. Now, I know not a lot of people aren't going to notice this, but that was very similar to Benny and the Jets. And that's just me. That's just Wellington's Y Zone being nerdy, but that was very similar, and it was confirmed.
Because I don't know what that is.
Benny and the Jets.
I don't know what that is. No.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, it's by Elton John. I know.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But that's where I
music
connoisseur.
Yeah, like I cut it off at certain points because I don't listen to country music. I just don't. That's not a genre I listen to. And then anyway,
I'm just gonna say
that. No, that's a good catch though.
Listen to Benny.
That's a good catch though.
And then listen to Meet the Grams and tell me that doesn't sound a little similar. I'm just gonna say, just gonna put
that's a good catch.
All right.
Well, it's the wise on with the reference.
But then Sunday night rolled around, and we were thinking. I don't know what many people were thinking, but I was thinking, it's Sunday night. You gotta start. You gotta at least respond to this. You can't let the weekend roll by and just not respond to this. And then Drake shares the post. Part 6 got the day free response under the IG post, which is like crazy cover art. It's crazy, insane. And then starts off, which I want to say, a lot of these songs started off with some great samples. Kendrick had the Teddy Pendergrass sample for Euphoria. He also had the Al Green 616 LA, and then Drake starts off with the Aretha Franklin Prove It. I was like, the boy is still strategic, man, because that went along with the song. It's gotten a lot of backlash from people. That Part 6. But for me personally, I think he went crazy on it. I think he was
absolutely.
It was surgical drizzy, as we say.
Absolutely.
And certain things you have to address. I think, if the guy is calling you a pedophile, you have to say, shoot that down. And people are just saying, like, why do you're looking guilty? I'm like, well, Kendrick has not addressed once that to those, domestic abuse allegations. Not once, which kind of makes me, I'm not going to say that, but you also had Kodak Black on your album, who's had multiple issues with that. So there's some things with Kendrick that I'm questioning as well. Not saying it's all true, but there's some things with Kendrick as well that have to be addressed.
The baby thing too with Dave Free.
Yes, with Dave Free. He's not addressed that at all. And I know people do the thing about like, oh, why is Drake mentioning that Whitney doesn't follow Kendrick? But also, isn't that kind of weird though that you don't follow your husband on social media? Maybe it's just me, but I think it's kind of weird if a wife doesn't follow her husband on social media, but she follows another.
Put two and two together.
That's kind of crazy. And people were saying like, oh, that doesn't matter. Who cares about that? I'm like, I'm not saying social media isn't everything, But that's just a basic thing. You want to see what your spouse is doing on social media. I think a lot of people miss this, and there were parts of it where I was like, certain lines Drake said I thought he could have left out, but overall, I think he did what he had to do. I think he addressed everything, and I like it. I love the beat. I love the background. It's he had to have the tone that he had because this was a serious topic. This was a serious matter. And he's like, look, my legacy is on the line. My reputation is on the line. It's the fourth quarter. I got to respond. So it's just like, that's what I thought about it. But what were kind of your initial takeaways of this track?
Nah, spot on. This track was so above a lot of people's heads. And there's so much hate, underlying hate for Drake as an artist and as an individual throughout his career, throughout the rap game. I think people were waiting for this moment. That's why so many people that was wanting to go against him.
They needed Kendrick to do it. Like Kendrick, like Joe Budden said, Kendrick was the perfect messenger because they're like, no, none of us have the talent to do it. Kendrick do it. Like that's why they were all cheering for Kendrick because they're like, this is the only guy who can possibly take him out.
And on top of that, why Kendrick's record went number one, it's because he does not drop music on the regular. So when he's dropping music, of course everybody's going to gravitate to the song because Kendrick doesn't drop. And Kendrick's going against Drake. If it was anybody else, that diss track would not be that. And Drake said that, bro. I'm just happy that we got you back out here. And I know why that track went number one because it's against me.
Man.
A lot of people didn't like Mr. Morale. Fans included. But they like these tracks, which are similar to Mr. Morale, because it's against Drake. And when you ask me that question, who do you think win? That's why I was like, I don't know. I got to think about that. But I know we're going to get to that. But bro, it's so nerve-wracking for people to not really understand what Drake did in that song. All facts. And I believe because Kendrick did not address it. Everything Kendrick said about Drake, he addressed it and then went and rapped about other stuff too. Like, we're not acting like that song wanted to have bars in there, that it wasn't lyrical, that it wasn't a good diss, and people thought he gave up. No, bro. He like, bruh, why am I going to repeat the same things? You're repeating the same things. We're not getting anywhere. Literally, Not Like Us is a repeated track from Meet the Grams, but catchier and sped up.
Yes.
That's literally what it is. It's a repetition, a redundant track that was sped up and catchy. He said the same thing he did with Meet the Grams in Not Like Us. Same track, different tempo, different BPM, but this one has a hook and it's catchy and it's West Coast. And everybody, bro, it's just like East Coast versus West Coast. West Coast is going to get behind Kendrick. It's a chess move. Like, I'm going to drop a West Coast track and then I know people are going to get behind that. And then if you're not a fan of me, if you like catchy and up-tempo songs, you're going to like this. And it's against Drake. So people, I think it went over a lot of people's head because of the impact of Not Like Us, but it was redundant. Like, it didn't tell us anything new. And then it didn't say anything about the allegations of, we fed you information. He didn't even mention the daughter in Not Like Us. He just mentioned a pedophile. And he was just going at OVO and all these other things. So,
and I talked to Tyler about that, and he said, Kendrick is smart because you know what? He literally just dropped a club record, a club hit, and distracted you guys from everything that's been said about him. He's like, I don't want y'all to even think about that. He's like, I just want y'all to dance. He's like,
that's what Drake said.
He's like, I just want y'all to dance. He's like, I don't even want y'all to think about that. I don't want you to think about the fact that I possibly beat my wife. I don't want y'all to think about that. Just dance. Like,
that's literally what Drake said. Like, I'm making this rap factual, and every beef that or every rap, whatever has ever been, it's always been factual. What can I find facts about this person to go at this? It's not been no lies. Most of everything Kendrick has been saying has been lies. And everything Drake has been saying, Kendrick has not addressed. Drake addressed it.
Yes.
Who looks more guilty? The person who addressed it or the person who did not address it?
Let's be fair, guys.
Right. And this is not biased.
Yeah,
this is not biased.
We kept it a bug about Not Like Us. We kept it a bug and said, yo, we gave credit because that song was fire. Song is fire.
Atomic.
So we're not
Atomic.
Can't box in and just say we're the pro Drake podcast. No, we have given Kendrick a bunch of credit because Kendrick has delivered in this battle to me. But also, he has not addressed certain things that I think he should address. Some people are like, "Oh, why does he need to address it?" Like, the truth is the truth. I'm like, I don't know that because every day that goes on, I'm hearing more reports of what happened that Memorial Day weekend, and it's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pretty.
Right.
It's actually getting more graphic in terms of what happened that weekend with him and Whitney.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say that I know. I'm just hearing every day. I hear more stuff about that situation.
And it's all, again, facts. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to the podcast or you listen to those diss tracks, music is subjective. It's opinionated. It's what you like. It's really about that. But if you're a hip hop connoisseur and you study this, the reason why he dropped that is exactly what Wellington just said, exactly what Tyler said, exactly what Drake said, is to denounce the track he just did. And then he did not want Family Matters to get any traction. He saw what Push Ups did, because Push Up did numbers.
Yes.
And people were talking about it for a long time until Kendrick dropped. And then the tracks that Kendrick dropped really wasn't making wave. People were just excited that he was making music again.
They're like, man, we never get this much Kendrick music.
Not at all. Not in weeks. Not at this keep like back to back. No. But
that's insane, man. And that's the part of it, because it's just like, I think personally this has motivated Kendrick in a sense, because he's like, look, I gotta step it up. I mean, this guy is calling me out. But also, let's be very honest. Kendrick did start this.
Absolutely.
I do want to say, let's go back to March 26th, and everything was normal and quiet up till then. There were we knew Metro had issues with Drake. We knew Future was starting to act different. We knew things were starting to get a little fishy, but also Kendrick set everything off. He set everything completely off.
We talked about that a couple podcasts. We talked about that.
Absolutely.
This has started. Absolutely. And I know we're about to get to this, and I feel like it's a good way to transition. Drake won this.
Really?
I think Drake won this.
Wow.
He was more surgical. He was factual. He did everything early and often. Okay. Kendrick had to pull a chess piece out his behind. Great chess piece now.
It was a very...
But did not deny the allegations of it, because he did not out-rap Drake. If you think Kendrick Lamar out-rap Drake, you're crazy. You're crazy. He did not out-rap Drake. And that's what a beef is. Out-rapping the next person. And then getting information that's factual. Every checklist for a rap beef and being competitive in rapping, Drake did. Kendrick did not. It was enjoyable. I think Drake won off the premise of adhering to what a rap beef is and a rap battle is. And he did not out-rap Drake. If Drake would have dropped Push-Ups when he dropped Not Like Us, it would be a different story. Not Like Us just dropped later in the beef. And we were surprised that he dropped that type of song. I think everybody was surprised. Yeah. Everybody. That's why it's so popular. Kendrick dropped this type of song. It did bop, bop, bop. It's catchy all throughout. Kendrick did this?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to play this. It's for West Coast.
Yeah, the versatility Kendrick showed throughout those 4 tracks. That's why I kind of give him the slight edge. So I was like, man, he did it in a way I wasn't expecting. It kind of like hit you out of nowhere. That not like.
Let me ask you this question. Let's use his quality 1 out of 10. If Kendrick dropped as frequent as Drake, would that song be that popular?
I don't think it would be.
We're so not programmed. We're so I don't have the word, but Drake drops so frequent. He's so active and present in the rap game that we just push Drake aside like he's not great. Like them diss tracks wasn't amazing. Like we put and guess who dropped more diss tracks than the other person? Kendrick.
Yes.
Kendrick dropped more diss tracks. Why do you think so? Like, let's look at the deeper scope of this beef. Who had to drop more? Who had to drop at the tail end? We gave him credit because he dropped right after. He had to. Because if they would have spaced out the days and the time that both beefs or both diss tracks did, bro, we would not be talking about that track. If he would have dropped that a day or 2 days later, it would not have been as impactful. Everybody was talking about, oh, he dropped right after Drake. That was everybody was talking about. Like, let's go to a deeper scope of this beef, man. I think Drake won. I'm feeling like you think Kendrick won, but it's okay. I want you to explain why you thought Kendrick won this one.
I feel like he out-strategized Drake in a sense that I wasn't expecting him to do. Mainly because
out-strategized.
Mainly because I think with Euphoria, it was a really good warm-up diss track. And it was one where I think the song construction was very good, but it wasn't the knockout punch that people were saying it was. Like, to me, it was like, okay, this is a jab, this is a power jab, like we even said about it. And then when we get 616 in LA, I'm like, oh no, he's like actually like increasing the pace of this and applying pressure. He's been challenged to come outside. Like Drake said at the end of Taylor Made Freestyle, he was like, look, I know you're in that NY apartment. Like, I want to see what you're going to do. And Kendrick, he did apply the pressure. And then Meet the Grams, the fact that he was lying about the daughter, like that actually wasn't true, that takes a weight. That really does take a weight.
And the pedophile stuff.
That part too. Kendrick did throw bricks in this. He threw bricks in this. But also, I'm like, what is the victory lap song that everybody's going to talk about the most out of this? And he had that in Not Like Us.
Premise.
Right?
Premise.
Now, and again, like, I want to say this. I want to add context to this. We personally don't even know if this is fully done. We personally don't know.
Oh, it's done.
What?
Oh, it's done. It's done. It's done.
Oh, okay.
It's done, bro. It's nothing. We will get slight jabs in albums.
Okay, yeah, that part.
Because Kendrick's about to drop again.
That's what I'm saying. Because Kendrick is reportedly releasing a new album, and
we're not gonna get another diss track though. I just don't foresee it. Kendrick dropped what 5-6 diss tracks?
5 in 7 days. Dropped five tracks in 7 days.
Right. You know? And how many people did Kendrick go against? One, right?
Against Drake.
Just Drake.
Against 20.
With a lot of people, right?
Yes.
And his focus was spaced out, right?
Yeah.
And he still kept it factual. Now, if it was a one-on-one and everybody, we got the BBO beat, we got Rick Ross and all this stuff. Like, if it was just a one-on-one fade, then it'd be different.
Yeah.
Like, and again, man, it was a banger. Not Like Us is a banger. And I think, again, if it was dropped at the same time, I still like Westcom a slight little better because he was going at multiple people.
The Family Matters.
Try to get me 50.
Push-ups.
Push-ups.
I mean, even the second verse of Family Matters, I think he was going at a bunch of people. I mean, he was shooting at a bunch of people. Now, some people, devil's advocate, some people said, man, you should have just kept it at Kendrick. You were all over the place. And I'm like, well, he's actually got the whole industry against him at this point. You can't really say that because I'm like, Kendrick's not having to deal with that. Everybody's rooting for Kendrick. They're like, no, take Drake out. We're rooting for you. Nobody is going against you.
We're surprised Kendrick even did it.
Exactly.
I think that's the.
Maybe
I feel like it does.
Maybe Kendrick was really the underdog in this. I think
no.
When in terms of public perception, I think people were like, Kendrick's the guy that doesn't get mentioned as much as Drake because Drake drops so frequently. in public perception, people are like, well, Drake's always on top. Like, we want to see Drake taking off. It's almost like that Tom Brady and Patriots method of like, they're on the top so much. Not saying that people, I know people do think that Kendrick's the better rapper, like majority wise.
Which is crazy.
Majority wise, people think he's the better rapper. But I'm saying public perception is that Drake's been doing this for 15 years. He's been on top for this long. We want to see somebody take him off. We want to see the demise of Drake. You know.
And the only person can do that is, or try to do that, or can do that is Kendrick.
Yes.
So it had to be Kendrick.
I still can't get over the. I don't know if you remember, but the Dave Free line in Hard Part 6 when he said like if Dave really messed with your girl and got her pregnant, talk about breeding resentment. That's insane. That is insane.
Bro, and then if I say I hit you back, it's
oh my
like
gosh.
Bro.
Oh,
they sleeping, bro.
Up.
This is what I'm saying.
I know people call it a confessional, but he was barring up.
Hit Not Like Us was such, and I do give you that the strategy was different, but it was a force strategy, a Hail Mary strategy nonetheless. But I have to put that track out. If you would have not put Not Like Us, Drake wins by a landslide.
I love
a landslide.
This is not Wellington and Savon. He is confident in this take, and he's giving some great points. Bro, I'm serious. It was such a atomic bomb, and I've been going back and forth with people on social media. It was such an atomic bomb, but I told people, look, it's not over yet. Like, Drake has the last say, and I think what Drake said and what he did in the last diss track, I feel like he won, and he was literally trying to explain people, like, bro, I'm adhering to the format of what we're supposed to be doing. I gave y'all a hit in the beginning. He just so happened to do it at the end because he needed to stay relevant in this beef. People are not seeing that, but we're so, and me too, I'm fanning out because Kendrick, when I first heard, I was like, bro, this is what we've been wanting to hear. We hear for Kendrick since he got into the game. Like, he's the beginning of a spot of this, but he just gave us a track, boy. And then I re-listened, I had to listen to that track Drake did, and I really listened to it. I'm like, bro, he's really being patient. And you can say, and I'm glad you said that, it may not be over, because Drake at the end was like, bro, I'm just ready for you to do the favor, return the favor of being factual. Exactly. And that's the thing that gets me, because like this past week was even crazy because, Drake's security guard was shot multiple times, a drive-by shooting. And then somebody trespassed Drake's house, Drake's mansion, I think yesterday, actually. So a lot had happened, and DJ Academic said that same day that Drake's security guard had gotten shot, before that happened, another diss track, he didn't say which artist, another diss track was supposed to drop that day, but it got pushed back, obviously, because of that situation. So that's when I'm hearing stuff like that, I'm like, okay, somebody really wants the last say in this. I don't know who, but somebody wants to drop at least one more track. So that's what I meant by, like, I'm not sure if it's fully done yet, because there were reports that something was supposed to drop for the incidents that happened.
If it doesn't drop this week, don't drop.
Because at this
go
point,
back to jabbing.
Yeah, at this point, we got so much. It like, I'm gonna be honest, it became overwhelming at one point, because I was just like, I just didn't know when something was gonna drop. I really didn't know.
Right.
We had never seen a pace like this in a rap battle ever. I don't think we ever have. This is unprecedented. This is a hip hop moment. One of the, you got New York Times writing about this. You got CBS talking about this.
Rolling Stone
Everybody is talking about this moment. Yeah. And public perception is saying Kendrick won it, but I think
it's subjective.
I think Drake showed up big time in this. I think you
it's
really
subjective.
Did. And people were saying, man, we want that rapidy rap Drake at one. And then when he gave it, I saw so many people on Twitter said, man, he tapped out. He sounds defeated. Like, people were cooking him online. I was listening to it. I listened to it, and I texted Tyler. I was like, bro, he's going off. And he said, yo, he's talking. He said, but man, they're cooking him online. And I was like, what are they saying? And he's like, he said, man, they feel like he's falling for Twitter conspiracies. So then I look online, and I'm like, oh, shoot. Everybody was going out. Everybody was saying this was the worst diss track dropped in the whole feud.
Stupid.
But people were just saying, like, it sounded horrible.
Stupidity, bro.
the Mr. Morale line when people, I mean the Mother I Sober, you know. Now that I will say this,
that was a good one.
But
to me, it was good.
I know, but Kendrick did say that didn't happen in Mother I Sober, that he didn't get molested. So that part of it is like I can see where they're coming from, because I'm like, did
but
Drake actually?
If we're gonna lie and we're
Yeah,
gonna do
yeah,
these type of
yeah,
things, might as well lean into
yeah.
it. And then because you said A minor, and then he
Got
came
the
back
B
with two
oh shoot.
musical. It was another one after that. Like, bro, people. It was the effect of Not Like Us. How he dropped it, when he dropped it, was so surgical that whatever Drake dropped, the masses was going to miss it. They expected it to be a banger like
They
Kendrick
wanted a hit.
was.
They wanted a hit.
He already did
Family
that. He
Matters was the
gave
hit,
that
and
to
now
us.
it's time to rap. It's time to rap over
Absolutely
a slow down, crazy Aretha Franklin sample and just go nuts.
And he went
Yeah.
bonkers. We're talking about real rap. The boy ate the entire beat up and then explained to us. And I knew it was going to go over people's heads. I was so hyped. I'm like, bro, thank you. Yeah, bro, we can spend 5 hours talking about this, but bro, it's insane how many people missed that moment of that diss, bro.
They did. They did. That was
them talking about the worst. Oh my, the worst one was Rick Ross. Like, bro, what?
It's saying, so
if
funny.
He would have never dropped Not Like Us.
Can I say this? Because like he was performing live, I think today or yesterday, at a private event with Rick Ross, and they were playing Astro Mar music, and then they played Drake's part, and he looked at the camera and said, all right, he can kind of sing. I'm gonna give it to him. Like I'm like, you can't escape. This guy is everywhere in your catalog. You can't escape him. You even have to let it rock. You can't tell the DJ to cut off when Drake starts singing at the Astro Mar. You can't let him turn that. Come on.
He made that song. I love Chris said Michelle, but he made his part, bro, and his verse is way better than
Ross. Looked at the camera. He was like,
okay.
Boy can sing.
Like Ross just trolling. He just that old uncle just want to be a part of something, bro. Go sit down. Go cut your grass. What's going on? But man, yeah, bro, it's subjective, and I knew that people were going to lean more towards Kendrick because one, he's not as active. Two, he doesn't drop, and then he dropped an atomic bomb at the very end of it, which he had to because again, he would have never dropped Not Like Us. Drake would have won. This is my opinion, and that's why we say it's subjective. Drake would have won by a landslide. He would have won by a landslide.
But you do think it's done because two theories are going on that there's a camp going on that thinks Kendrick will drop the Not Like Us music video, and there's another camp that thinks Drake is just going to drop a Scary Hours 4. I think it's done. I think both of these guys did everything they need to do.
It's going to be jabs.
Yeah, I think at this point just subliminals. Go back to this because I think there were a lot of subliminals on Mr. Morale towards Drake that Kendrick showed. Then there were subliminals to Kendrick that Drake has shown in the last couple of his albums. And Cole is just enjoying the beach. So everybody,
Cole, he posted something about Cole is back or whatever. Okay, Cole. I'm not even. Yeah. Anywho.
Top three tracks that dropped out of all these.
I would say Family Matters. Like Not Like Us is just bonkers, and then 50D. I'm telling you, Drake's diss tracks was better. I'm not biased, bro. I listened to all these tracks, and Drake's diss tracks were better. Not Like Us, which is an atomic bomb, but Not Like Us. Even though it's redundant, literally, y'all go back and listen to the content of both tracks, and he's reiterating and redundant about the same thing he said to Meet the Grams.
People got to listen to 616 LA more because Kendrick was rapping on that. I think that's the one where he really got. It's not getting noted because it wasn't on streaming, but was 616 on streaming? I don't think that one was on it because
I think he dropped on the Instagram.
Right. I mean, because you're not going to clear off that algorithm said that he didn't get that cleared, so he's like, I got to give it on YouTube. But I think he went crazy on that one. That's the one where I really
it did.
Rapping.
It went top three though. Was it top three though? To you, No, I'm just saying, like, for me, that wasn't top 3.
Yeah, because
I like that.
Oh yeah,
I'll put like that before.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's like number 4. Yeah. Family Matters. Oh, man, freaking atomic bomb.
Do you
Not
think
like
that
us,
was
it's just an atomic
okay?
bomb.
Last question. Do you think that was the red button? Because Drake posted on his story right after Family Matters dropped that he was like, "I still got one more." Like, do you think Family Matters wasn't actually the red button? I don't think that was.
No,
I think there's one that
he didn't drop it because he was like,
it.
"Bro, there's no point. He's saying the same thing over and over. It's no like, okay, I'm just gonna clear some stuff up, and then I'm going to reiterate what factual evidence I have, because why is she not denying it? Why is she still following him? Why you ain't been with your kids? It's been 6 months, right, Mr. Morale? You talking all this stuff. You coming at my head about not being a good father, being all these things. And Negro, you're not doing it either, aren't you? Huh? You on a soapbox, ain't you? Short guy? Like, this is what I think. This is what going through his head.
You're on your high horse. You're on your high horse. You know,
bro. You not.
And I do want to say the colonizer line, because y'all were really like championing.
That was
wild.
That was fire.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's kind of dope.
But
it's kind of dope. But it was.
But I want to say this though. Jay-Z didn't accumulate multiple different regional sounds. Kanye didn't accumulate multiple. I think at one point we gotta say Drake used different things for his benefit, just like any other artist did. It's the fact that he's from Toronto and he doesn't have this one like traditional regional sound that people are like, oh man, like you just copying off of everybody, just leeching off of everybody. I'm like, Jay did the same thing. Kanye did the same thing. You know what I mean?
And then Nas said that Jay-Z took off, but I like the line because it was clever pen work. That's a clever angle. Not saying it's true, but I feel like he had, because I mean, he had the club stuff before Future. I mean, Take Care had club hits on.
Yes.
Hey, bro, what are you talking about? And
40 and Drake.
Yeah,
40 and Drake changed the game. I will always say.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. The hate of Drake is going to continue. Yeah. People was looking for a reason to hate him anymore and to say he's a loser. And Kendrick gave him the angle to do so.
This is the perfect time for Drake to like go on a 2-year break, honestly. If they don't appreciate you, you done all you did. You don't know what you do. You've done all you did.
This is crazy. This is crazy what I'm about to say, bro. Drake is the LeBron James, and their friends, the LeBron James of music. People hate LeBron James. I don't know why they hate LeBron James so much. But once he goes away, we're going to miss his impact he had to the game.
Yeah.
And I think that is fitting for the both of them. Drake is LeBron James. And I think Kendrick Lamar, I'm not saying he's Michael Jordan. I think he's better. I'm just saying, like, image-wise, people love Kendrick more than they love Drake. And people love Michael more than they love LeBron James.
They view Kendrick as the everyday man, the common guy. You know, the torture genius in a sense, but hey, we don't know these people.
Everybody beat their wives, huh?
We don't know. We don't know these people. We don't know them. That Savior song. Wow. That Savior song applies to Kendrick as well. Kendrick is not your savior. It applies to Kendrick as well. So
absolutely.
Well, look.
Absolutely.
No matter what happens, the rest of the week, I know Future's dropping a mixtape. Gunna's dropping something. Ghostface Killah is dropping an album tonight. So we're back in.
Absolutely.
But we will next week. Hey, these last couple of weeks have been different because we've only had two guys to focus on. This is an historic moment. We will be looking back at this, all of our reviews, everything that we did on it. But that's it. We're done. We're done talking about these cues. If Kendrick drops the album next month, we'll be right back on it. But man, this was history. This was really history. Whoever thinks who won, that's completely fair. But nobody can deny it. These guys both got into the ring. Nobody ducked. Nobody got back out. They were like, I'm taking your best shot. You're taking my best shot. And we're going to see who's standing at the end of the day. It's a moment. I think this deserves a round of applause. I think this deserves a round of applause. Shout out Drake and Kendrick. Y'all did it.
Best. Oh, we forgot one thing. This is the best diss battle, whatever, ever in rap history.
This is the top.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, Nas, move
This is what we've
away.
been waiting for.
50, Ja Rule, move away.
Yeah. Yeah. 50, Rick Ross,
move away. Everybody move away. These are the two.
Tupac, Biggie,
move away.
Ice Cube versus all the guys. Yeah. These
are the two. These are the two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back with our hit review.